Dear brothers and sisters, indeed, I feel great honor to come here, no matter how sort of small, but still the name of Nalanda, where you carry the name of Nalanda. And this is not a monastery, but an academic center. In Tibet, you see many monasteries, I think a few thousand monasteries, I think during Cultural Revolution or before, almost 6,000 monasteries, temples destroyed. So that means you see, there are several thousand monasteries there. But I am not satisfied that. Therefore, after I reach India as a refugee, not like previous visit here. When previous visit here, you see, actually, Zhou Prime Minister of People's Republic of China, this is supposed to come. Then all of a sudden, you see, he some physical problem. So Zhou asked me, on behalf of Government of People's Republic of China, you should go there to give that relic to Indian Prime Minister. So at that time, I was the one of vice chairman of steering committee of People's Congress of People's Republic of China. Now this time, refugee. So anyway, at that time, no freedom. Today, I have complete freedom. Last now 58 years as a refugee, and at the same time as the longest guest of Indian government. So I enjoy India's freedom. Wonderful. So soon after I came to India, all Tibetan monastery, the monastery, a monk who already now among the refugees, I asked them, it is not sufficient. Simply you should wear monk's dress and carry some puja, some sort of rituals. That's not sufficient. We must study. So the main Tibetan monasteries among the refugee, then they start study seriously. Not only that, Tibetan nuns, also I appeal to them. Nuns, in the past, I think at least several centuries, Tibetan nun never sort of study seriously. So therefore, unfortunately, you see, there is some sayings, or look down, none. So now the nun should become equal as a monk scholar. So I think so some of you, I think, noticed yesterday, now some nuns also now participate, debate, you know. So,
in this Mahavihara, we have nuns and who are doing PhDs.
Very good, very good. So last, I think at least 20 years, 17, 18, 20 years, they study. So now, last year, I give them the highest sort of degree for nun. So some of them participated yesterday, like that. So study is very, very important. Why? Of course, I respect all major world tradition. Judaism, Islam, Christian, different sort of ancient non-Buddhist tradition in this country, such as Jainism, Sangha, Rikshitavakasa, Vaisheshika. All those Vedanta, we respect. Wonderful. All those ancient Indian sort of tradition, where practice of shamatha and vipassana there, automatically more explanation about mind, about emotion. So all, I think, ancient Indian sort of religion, Buddhist as well as non-Buddhist, all, you see, I think they carry a lot of, sort of knowledge about our inner world, mind, emotion. And then also logic. Some of those Nalanda masters writing, we can see a lot of sort of non-Buddhist argument. All their sort of views, you see, explained through logical way. So I think in ancient time, Nalanda masters sort of certain there sort of was they particularly in the logical field, the Buddhist sort of scholars knowledge about logic, say further develop because of strong non-Buddhist, because of the logicians challenge. So therefore, in ancient time, you see those non-Buddhist sort of Indian or non-Buddhist sort of tradition also is very, very sort of very rich. So now about Nalanda, there are short sort of story, and there are sort of writings mentioned here. So we, you see, do not sort of accept just big name. Oh, great, 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 great. Till we see the text which wrote some individuals, then we accept, oh, now that author is really a great scholar. Since many years, you see, when I first met some quantum physicist, eventually, you see, I developed some special interest. Then some occasion, you see, we discuss. So it seems like yesterday, the presentation of Paticca or similarity of Paticca and quantum physics, you see, it's quite clear. The quantum physicists now, they quite now, sort of convinced, you see, nothing objectively exists. And time, space, these also, you see, go because of the reductions way. Chapa saying, analyze, you see, nothing there. So then the quantum physicists usually say, observer. But then, where is observer? Quantum physicists not yet developed, you see, about that. Now in this country, I think the tradition which you see accept rebirth. So in order to establish the rebirth theory, you see the concept of Atma come. This physical with our mind related with this physical, this brain, at the time of death, no longer. So then, from previous life to this life, from this life, next life, part of this body, nothing, you see, come from previous or go next. So, concept of Atma. And now, if there is Atma, self, besides this physical mind, if we investigate where is Atma, now one my friend, one scientist, one German brain specialist, great scientist, you see, one occasion, our meeting, I think stop. Good, good. My clothes is quite thin because of hot climate. Now it is too cold. So the concept of Atma also, you see, if we investigate, very difficult to establish that concept. So Buddhism generally, anathema theory. Now, within the anathema theory, again, is a different concept. So, Vivashik, Sotantik, Chittamantra, Madhyamika. Now, when we comparative study, when we study all these, then we can see, you see, the Madhyamika philosophy is something, I think, something very, very brilliant and realistic. And within Madhyamika philosophy, Sotantik and Prasankika. The meaning is Tanya Durangze Shiva to Mishiva.
So the difference between these two sub-schools within Madhyamaka is that the Sautrantika Madhyamikas do accept or assert some kind of objective existence in things, whereas the Prasankikas reject any kind of objective existence, whatever.
So the disciple of Nagarjuna, Buddhapalita, great scholar and great practitioner. Then Chandakirti, I think Buddhapalita, then Vavavega, great scholar, top scholar. See, he raised some question about Buddhapalita's sort of commentary about the Nagarjuna's Madhyamika Mulakarika. So, Vavavega is a great scholar. At the same time, judging his writing, that great scholar, little bit kasuta, chikasure, kebe ngajesuri, helps you.
Judging by his writings, it appears that he had this scholarly pride.
So he raised some questions about Buddhapalita's sort of, the explanation. Then Chandrakirti come. Chandrakirti, you see, respond all those critic view about yes. So when we study these books, then you get a clearer sort of understanding about Nagarjuna's sort of view about Shunyata. So the Vavavega and Shantarakshita also, they, you see, find it very difficult. If nothing exists independently, then they find a little difficulties. The Buddhapalita and the Chandrakirti are wonderful sort of wonderful conclusion they make. Now that is the level of investigation. Then practice. through practice, which philosophical views really going to going to sort of yes, going to sort of going to affect our emotion. So then combine intellectual understanding and then some experience through serious sort of analytical meditation. Actually some effect or emotion. So then we can say, oh, you see the Chandrakirti's view is really, I think, what's the ultimate weapon of our destructive emotion. So, as I mentioned earlier, you see, we never say, oh, what's the oh, Nagarjuna, wonderful. You see, he's a disciple, wonderful. More like blind faith. If someone asks why Nagarjuna is something marvelous, how? Oh, my teacher said that. Nothing. Oh, who say your teacher is good? I say. So it's analytical meditation. In order to carry analytical meditation, the knowledge, very important. So first, knowledge from hearing. That's not very stable. Then second level, knowledge through investigation. Analyze. And for analyze, you need books. You see, different sort of variety, right? Books explaining different views. It is very necessary to know, then make comparison. Oh, this view looks good, but if this, from this sort of philosophical viewpoint, when we understand that, when we read that, then some faults, some contradictions you find. So that's a proper way. So in this respect, logic, the Dignak's text, Dharmakirti's text, very essential. So I'm, of course, when I study these things, I'm very, very lazy student. Even lazy student, you see, get some taste from these sort of writing, from these sort of, because of the master. So now these are Indian masters, Indians, all these are Indian. So after all, Buddhism developed or taught by Buddha in India, not in Tibet. So Buddhism is one of India's religion. And the recent centuries, I think you Indian, I think the other day I mentioned, you see, you really practice give and take. You Indian give us wisdom and take our ignorance. Therefore now, all these sort of wonderful sort of knowledge or philosophy or views, this must revive in this country. Over 1,000 years since 8th century, Shantarakshita, invited by Tibetan emperor, he himself, great philosopher, great logician. So he taught us, you see, I mean, naturally, such a sort of teacher want his student should be like that way, philosopher and great logician. So we Tibetan, generally speaking, over 1,000 years, we kept all these Nalanda knowledge, logic, and psychology, philosophy, and of course Vinaya, all these things. So therefore, now I really hoping this small institution could be seed of this knowledge with the name of Nalanda. Study seriously. Then hopefully, I usually make distinction, religion and philosophy. And also, you see, philosophy, some philosophy, like Four Noble Truths, directly linked with Buddhism. But true truth and some other sort of philosophical views is something we can consider just an academic subject. So now this, as a sort of academic sort of center, institution, you see, should pay more attention about the philosophical field. Take as a sort of academic subject, not a religious subject. Religion, now here it is, the Buddhist religion, mainly for Buddhist. But this philosophy, now even some scientists now also now showing interest. So therefore, you see, can easily, you see, the establish at some other secular universities. So I hope, you see, small student, small number, should be something like teachers training.
Teachers training.
No? Then eventually, more other institution. I think may start some sort of department, right? Or study this ancient Indian thought as an academic subject, not a religious subject. So that I want to share you. So I made clear your purpose. Now whether you achieve or not, up to you.
Yes.
I'm leaving.
You can bring it.